No, like everybody's obsessed with my boobs. No, like seriously. Like really, I'm not gonna lie, like even me.
Like they're so big. Yeah.
Ow. Like they're so sensitive. Wow, actually they're so sore. Like anyway, so today we're talking about hormone replacement therapy, or HRT, and how it's changed and impacted my life and my mind and my body, and also a little bit about my boobs and my sex life. Remember to like and subscribe for more content like this, and you can head over to Instagram and follow me there for more queer content and stories. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, so just as a context to this video, I am sharing some personal medical information about myself and how my medical transition has impacted my life. And while I'm okay with sharing these deeply personal stories about my medical transition with you on a platform like this, it doesn't necessarily mean that other trans people are comfortable talking about their medical transition with people that they don't know. So please don't go up to trans people and start asking them all sorts of questions about their bodies and what kind of medical assisted transition they've been doing and whether or not they've had surgeries. That's just really inappropriate and just insensitive. Somehow there's a double standard where we don't ask cisgender people to disclose private medical information about themselves to other people. Unless you're friends and family and have a really close relationship, it's maybe not a good idea to ask trans people about their medical assisted transition or whether or not they've had any kind of surgery. And also just to note that being on hormone replacement therapy or undergoing surgical interventions doesn't qualify your transness at all. You do not have to undergo any kind of a medical assisted transition in order for you to validate your transness. Okay, so now that we've got that little bit of context out of the way, let's get started. Hormone replacement therapy is effectively a medical intervention where the particular sex hormone in your body is either replaced or supplemented by something like estrogen or testosterone. And so these hormones can produce either feminizing or masculinizing effects depending on which hormone you're taking. I had made a video about how you could go about getting on HRT, which gives you a whole bunch of details on hormone replacement therapy and where and how you could go about doing that. So you can check out the video that I made over here, and this will give you a little bit of context as to what HRT is and how you could potentially go about accessing it. So the purpose of today's discussion, I just wanted to talk about when I started out on HRT. I can remember waiting quite a bit before actually wanting to start it. So initially I came out to my close friends and family and decided that I wanted to wait before going on HRT because I wanted to be 100% sure that that was something that I wanted to do for myself. At the time when I started, I was doing it through the public healthcare system, and that involved me taking oral medication. The one was a testosterone blocker and the other one was estrogen. So the changes were incredibly slow, and being on HRT is in fact a process that can take a number of years to produce a number of effects. I mean, your body's effectively going through what is a second puberty. So these changes are slow and incremental, and they build and take time. When I did start noticing changes, they weren't necessarily physical, but they had more to do with my mental and emotional spaces. I was experiencing and processing things slightly different than I used to, and I'm not quite sure how to describe it. I almost want to say the way that I experienced and processed things was thoughts first, feelings second. So after being on hormones for a little bit, that process started to reverse, and I would experience my feelings first before I could even mentally process them. And I would get moody and emotional about the smallest thing. It was so bizarre. I mean, I can imagine that I was a nightmare to be around because my hormones were just all over the place. And I think over time I learned to deal with that and cope with that. And so I almost want to say living in a female brain has actually changed the way that I perceive the world and the way that I engage with people so much. I can't imagine going back to that other space. Like, I enjoy feeling my environment and engaging with people like in an emotional space so much more than I did before. One of the other things that I did start noticing was that my skin got so soft. Like for me, male skin has a certain coarseness to it, but since being on hormones, my skin is just smoothed out, and it's so gentle and so soft. It's incredible. And I used to get pimples. I don't get them anymore. Nothing. I may get a pimple once every 2-3 months, maybe. Estrogen has really helped my skin. It's soft and it has this natural glow. So in addition to my skin getting really soft, I also started noticing a difference in how I experience touch. It also became more sensitive and more responsive to how I touched certain surfaces and how, particularly when people touched me. Like, I have no idea what that's about, but it's almost like if somebody touches me, like there's more like electricity on my skin. So weird. So the other thing is body hair. Like, I used to have like hair on my chest and it's like completely gone now. The hair on my arms like completely thinned out. The hair on my legs also thinned out. Like, you can like hardly tell. It's like, it's incredible. So also the thing about body hair is that you can't ever like get rid of it completely, because both men and women have body hair and that's a completely natural thing. But what is interesting is the growth pattern in my hair. So particularly around my pubic area. So men generally have like a rounded growth of hair in their pubic area, whereas women's are more like triangular. So mine has gone from like being round to being more triangular. Yeah, I don't know why my hands are doing this. I don't know what to do with my hands. So very generally and stereotypically, people who have more testosterone in their bodies tend to hold on to muscle mass more easily than people who have less testosterone in their bodies. When I started on hormone replacement therapy, one of the things that started going really, really quickly, like within the first 3 months, was like my muscle mass. I used to have like these huge muscular arms. Yeah, the muscles kind of like disappeared. I remember this day I was doing grocery shopping and I took the bags out of my car to my flat. I remember holding these carrier bags in my arms and they felt so heavy. Like, I couldn't understand it. And it was because I had been losing muscle mass, which is fantastic. I lost a lot of muscle mass over a number of years of being on HRT, particularly in my legs and in my arms and in my chest. And also the fat distribution on my body had started to shift. And so this I only saw maybe after about 2 years of being on HRT. So women tend to have more fat under the skin and that gives them a more rounded appearance, particularly in areas like the face. Like my face like really rounded out over a number of years and it's like gotten so soft and so firm. I did keep my cheekbones though, which is amazing. So fat also started redistributing itself over my body in a number of different ways. So my hips appear slightly wider than they used to. So I've lost a lot of fat in my collarbones and my shoulders, and that somehow moved like into my arms. Like I've got this, you know, like also like my ass is rounder, which is really nice. Okay, but my body feels a little bit more femme like in its shape, so it's a little bit narrower in the rib area and a little bit more fuller in the hip and bum area. So like my boobs took forever to grow. Like I remember first starting out and it may have been like 2 months, 3 months in, and I started getting this like tingling sensation in my nipples. Can I say nipples on YouTube? Also, what am I doing with my hands? Like they became very tender, and the only thing that I can equate it to is like somebody going through puberty. Like they were so sore for like so long. Like there was this lump that formed behind the nipple that was really hard and really anal. It started off very pointy and like triangularly, so over time they became a little bit more fuller, a little bit more round, and then things started to level out for a little bit and then growth kind of slowed down. But then I moved from oral medication onto the injectable, and that just changed everything. So after going on the injectable medication, it's almost like it kickstarted my breast growth again, and suddenly they became so sore and so swollen, and they started rounding out and becoming even more fuller. Like even now making this video, like they're so sensitive. I'm not wearing a padded bra right now. This is wire free and pad free, no push up, nothing. Partly because the padded bra is like really hurting my breast. They're like so sensitive right now. Also because this bra is way more comfortable and my boobs look great. Like they really do. Like I'm so obsessed. So in all seriousness, the combination of my breast being so sensitive and also my skin being like electric, that's like boosted my sex life so much. So initially starting on hormone therapy killed my sex drive completely. Like dead. So for a long time I didn't want to have sex at all when I was on HRT. But after a while, like my hormones like leveled out and my sex drive just took off. Like I was so horny all of the time. It was so weird. I mean, there was a period of my life where hoe is life was a very real thing. But not only did I have like an increased sex drive, I started experiencing sex so differently. Like I had never had an orgasm just from somebody touching me. Like that happened. And I'm not going to go into too much detail about it, but I am having the best sex of my life right now. Can I actually say that on YouTube? Not for kids. So all of that said, it is very important to note that these are my personal experiences and different bodies are going to respond to hormones differently. So just because I have a particular experience on being on hormones doesn't necessarily mean that you or the next person is going to experience those same things. There are general kind of things that people broadly experience, so hormones are going to do different things for different people depending on your body. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to like and subscribe for more content like this. And I will see you in the next one. Ciao. Like, I legit can't believe I talked about my sex life to the whole universe.